What's that?
Like what on YouTube?
Yeah, we can do that. So listen, we're talking about reducing adjective clauses. Alright, so number one, look at number one. Fellas, will you read number one? Adjective clauses.
Adjective clauses can be reduced to an adjective phrase. Clause.
Yeah, so read the clause.
Hawaii, which is known for its beautiful topography and climate, lies in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, good. Now look at it reduced. Read the second one, which is also okay. Go ahead, read it.
Phrase. Hawaii, known for its beautiful topography and climate, lies in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Hey, I want you to look at the two sentences. What did they get rid of?
They omit the whiches.
Yeah. So listen, that's rule number one. When the adjective clause has a be verb with a relative pronoun as the subject, you get rid of the relative pronoun and the be verb. That's it.
So without subject on there?
Correct. It just reduces it to the phrase.
Yeah.
Without the relative pronoun and without the be verb. Does that make sense? And that's rule number one. Rule number one, let's just write it up here. So, when you have the be verb, alright, let's just make it easy. Get rid of the relative pronoun and the be verb. And let's give you another example. Josh who is a teacher at ELS loves teaching. So, if I want to reduce this according to the rule, now this only works when you have a relative pronoun and a be verb like that together. Okay? So what am I going to get rid of?
Who is? Yes.
And there's my new sentence. Josh,
A
teacher at ELS, loves teaching. Okay? It's that simple. So that's rule number one. Now, look at rule number two. You see rule number two in the book here? Ahmed, read rule number two.
When the adjective clause does not contain a form of the verb be, drop the relative pronoun and use the present participle of the verb.
Alright, so another way to say it simply is, again, when the adjective clause doesn't have a be verb, okay? It just has a relative plus a main verb, some action verb maybe. So how do I reduce that? It's quite simple. You're still going to drop the relative, but you're going to take the action verb and just put an ing on the end. Does that make sense? Let's take a look. Here's one. Those who play soccer should play hard. It's kind of a dumb sentence I just made up, but
those playing soccer should play hard.
Yeah, those who play soccer should play hard. So the question is there a be verb?
No.
No. So I got to use rule number two.
No.
It says drop the relative, So I get rid of that, and then it says use the verb ing.
Those playing soccer should play hard.
Good. Those, I just add ing, those playing soccer should play hard. Good, so I just dropped the relative and added ing. Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's rule number 2. And they give some nice examples. Sunjo, will you read example 1 under 2, the human skeleton?
The human skeleton, which contains 206 separate bones, is a strong and flexible structure. The human skeleton containing 206 separate bones is a strong and flexible structure.
Good, so you guys can see the rule again playing out. Everybody okay?
Yes, sir.
Alright, now, they want you to notice one other thing here. Adjective phrases are common in writing. They often begin with an article or with words and expressions like one, a type of, the kind of. So, again, they're more common in writing than they are in perhaps speaking. Using one, a type of, the kind of to start the phrase with. And they give an example of each one. It's been reduced, and in the first one they put an article. Mohammed, read the first one. My grandmother.
Well,
The first one.
okay. My grandmother, a very particular,
Practical.
practical, and hard-working woman, made clothes for the entire family.
Good. So, hey, let's do it in reverse now. Can someone turn that back into a proper adjective clause? So, what would we need to do, Rafid?
My grandmother, who is a very particular and
Practical.
and handwriting women,
Hard-working.
hard-working women made clothes for the entire family.
Excellent. So you'll notice there's no verb plus ing, so they had to have followed rule number 1. So you need to add the be verb and then add the appropriate relative pronoun to go in reverse. Does that make sense?
That's right.
And that's, listen, doing something in reverse is helpful because sometimes when you're writing and you're trying to see, ooh, did I leave a subject or verb out? And can I do that? You can in this situation as long as you follow the rule. Does that make sense? So doing it in reverse helps you test the situation. Okay. Let's look at the third one. Abdulaziz, read the second one.
Again?
Yeah, the largest. The second one, the largest city in Turkey.
My grandmother.
Oh. The largest city to Turkey, Istanbul, is at the point where Europe joins Asia.
Wow, hey, this is interesting. Remember the rule I told you? Adjective clauses, not phrases, adjective clauses must follow the noun they're describing,
Yes.
correct? This is weird because in this one, the phrase, the adjective phrase is at the,
The
end.
it's at the beginning.
Yes.
Beginning.
How can they do that?
Because the largest.
No. The reason they can do it is because it's not a clause anymore. It's a phrase. You can put an adjective phrase before the noun that it modifies. You cannot put an adjective clause before the noun. It has to come after the noun. So by reducing it, they give themselves the opportunity to put it on the front. Does that make sense? So if I wanted to make this back into a normal adjective clause, how could I do it? Somebody new. I know Rafid can do it. Can somebody else turn it back into an adjective clause?
Maybe I'll try.
Meghan, try. Yeah, turn the first part into an adjective clause and put it after the noun it modifies. Let me ask you a question. The largest city in Turkey, what's the largest city in Turkey?
Istanbul.
Istanbul. So put that right after Istanbul and then add what you need to.
Which is
Go ahead, Faisal.
the largest city.
that's Turkey.
No, listen.
Istanbul, which is
Ah.
buoyant, where Europe joined.
No. Yes. Rafid, try.
Istanbul, in which the largest city in Turkey, is at the point where Europe joins Asia.
Almost.
In which?
Don't use in which.
Okay.
Yeah, which is
Okay, Ahmed, let's give him a shot at it.
Istanbul, which is the largest city in Turkey, is pointed at
Is at.
the point where European joins Asia.
Hey, nice. Good. Everybody okay?
Teacher, why couldn't use image?
Because you're not talking about modifying a noun of place. You're talking about describing the city itself. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's that first one on the chart, not the second.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Cool. Now here's another one. Sunshil, will you read the next one? They're looking.
You are looking for a quiet place to live, preferably one in the suburbs.
Good. Could you turn that into an adjective clause?
They are looking for a quiet place. There is one. There is preferably is one in the suburbs. No.
So, first of all, one in the suburbs. What does that describe?
The place.
Yeah, the place. So anyway, it's okay. You can leave it in that position because it has an infinitive and then an adverb. That's okay, but it technically follows place. What do I need to add?
Which
I need to add which, and I need what kind of verb?
is there to be.
A be verb.
Yes.
Now be careful. You got a quantifier on there. One.
One of.
Just put one.
One of which is in the suburb.
Okay, I know what you're trying to do. Hey, listen. The one here is actually one. The one here actually isn't. It is the noun we're modifying. It's not acting like the quantifier here. Because there's only one place. It's talking about that one, right? This is a little confusing.
So perfectly, one who's in the suburbs.
But the one's referring to a place.
Who's one in the suburbs?
Don't use who with a place.
Who's.
That's for
Of
persons.
whose.
One,
Sorry. Which
which,
in the suburbs.
which.
Which is in the suburbs.
There you go.
Finally.
Which is in the suburbs. That's a tricky one.
Yes.
They're looking for a quiet place to live, preferably one which is in the suburbs. Okay? All right. Who wants to try the next one? Fawaz, thanks for volunteering.
Chant rose, a type of edible mushroom with a rich yellow color, are very expensive.
Yeah. Good. So anyway, you see the phrase a type of, right?
Yeah.
So how could you turn that into an adjective clause? By the way, chantarellis, it's a mushroom, a food. So what relative could you use?
Which is?
Yeah. Which is? Yeah, a type of blah, blah, blah. Just finish it. Okay? Is everybody okay?
Yes.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's see what we can do. Look at C.